What techniques do industry sample makers use to get songs with artists like Gunna, Young Thug, and Drake? To find out, I did a deep dive into their main producers' biggest hits and found the secret to each one. So the first sample that we're making is going to be based off Friends and Family by Nav. It's a super big orchestral sounding melody with a lot of brass and strings in there.
Started with this SRX orchestra. Got this little run. Some percussion. String pattern. Brass accent. Bass. Brass. Then the second section over here, I just made it all stabs and stuff. Here's the final sample.
We can move into the second sample, which is going to be based off That's Facts by Lil Baby and Lil Durk. This melody is really simple. It focuses more on the rhythm of the melody than the actual melodics of it. And the bounce of the whole beat is super weird, but it works really well. It's one of my favorite beats of all time, personally.
Wheezy out of here.
Portal always comes in clutch. Now that I have this main pattern down, I'm gonna just try to find little accent sounds here and there to complement the rest of it and fill in the space. I'm gonna go with Shaper Box this time. I'll make this double time and see what happens with that. Alright, I'm gonna put this on insert 4 and put some delay on here. I'm gonna pitch this down 4 semitones. Let me get a bass just to find out the rhythm. I'm gonna get a second bass in here and put this on the 1. I'm taking this little pattern right here, and I want to play with the pitch a little bit and reverse it and do some more chopping just to make a second section. I used the Tape Mellify plugin to add some distortion to this pattern, and I also pitched it down an octave. Kinda ended up straying away from the melody, the actual song, but I think it still sounds good, and I could definitely hear some Wheezy drums on this.
So you see how the tape Mellify is having a little like crackle noise? If somebody chops up the stems, it'll make the crackle noise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times louder than it should be, which can get a little bit too much sometimes. So have an automation clip where it turns on only when the sound that I want it to be on is playing. Now I'm gonna get a sound shifter and see what pitch I like this best at.
I'm feeling real hungry, so I'm gonna go get some food and then go back into the next loop.
I mean, this is beautiful, bro. Come on.
Alright, melody number 3 is gonna be based off Ski by Young Thug and Gunna. So I'm gonna pull up some staccato strings here. I'm gonna get a smooth little bass going. Alright, so I got this guitar and I'm gonna go into the channel pitch and then try to find where it goes up 2 semitones. About right there. then I'm gonna just reverb this out with Valhalla Supermassive. This is my favorite preset right here, the C-beams. Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, I like that. There's a pitch bend here and then no pitch bend here. So I'm gonna export the one with no pitch bend. So now that I have the no pitch bend section exported, I can take this, turn the portal off, maybe pitch it down an octave, and then layer them and see how that sounds. And then they got the little sine wave going. Maybe some crystallizer just for fun. Yeah, I want to export that and use that crystal sound for sure. I don't know if I'll keep it on the actual lead. Put some delay, like a little bit of delay and reverb on it. I'm gonna go in here and get like one bell, and then I think that'll be it. Render it out and then reverse it, and I'm gonna use it as like a riser. I'm putting some reverb on the strings just because they're a little bit harsh. The whole point of this melody is to be real smooth and ethereal, aquatic almost. So when you have those harsh frequencies going, it kind of throws it off. As always, I'm gonna play with the pitch just a little bit to see what I like the most. So it is the beginning of day 3 right now. I just woke up. The first thing I do every day is I check my Instagram DMs and see who has texted me for packs. So the very first thing I did was I made drop boxes for Lil Yachty, DC2 Trill, and Anicia. And I sent a couple messages asking people if they need anything today. When they hit me back, I'll make those as well. But that's just how I start most of my days. And now I'm gonna go eat breakfast, shower, brush my teeth, do all that. And then we can get into day 3. All right, so day 2, sample number 4 is gonna be based off Young Wheezy by Gunna and Nav. This is another rhythmic melody. There's more melodic elements than that's facts, but it still heavily plays off the rhythm and the bounce of the instruments. I'm gonna have this and then I'm gonna put like a gross beat gate on it. I'm gonna go in here and take a lot of that reverb off. It's a little bit too much. Now that I got all the high elements done, I'm gonna go in and add a sub bass. Just one that's super smooth and clean like how it is in the song. I'm not gonna change the pitch because I don't really like how any of those sound compared to what I have now. And this is the full melody. You just gotta put some Wheezy drums on there and it's done. Melody 5 is going to be based off of Bubbly by Drake and Young Thug.
Wheezy out of here. Wheezy out of here. Wheezy out of here.
There's going to be a lot of simple patterns with heavy processing, super synth based, and some nice lead patterns that have different sections with variation. This is one of my favorite melodies. I believe it was Des Wright that made it. Let me get some shaver box on here and start doing some volume automations. I'm gonna go under new tone and edit the pitch of this because it's a little bit wonky. In the song, there's a sound effect that acts as a lead, and it's like a police siren. This is probably what I'm gonna have act as that instead of putting an actual siren in there. Alright, now I need to get something lower sounding like a pad. So this flute right here is pretty bare right now, but I'm gonna put a ton of effects on here to try to make it sound different, and then hopefully from the effects that I get, I can chop up different parts of the effects and turn them into different lead sections. That sounds really good. Alright, I'm gonna get some J37 stereo to make it like sound more vintage and more processed.
Alright, and then for this one, I'm turning off these effects because I don't need them anymore, and then I'm gonna put on some tape mellify. It does basically the same thing as a J37, just a little bit different. Right here, there's this noise. Don't want that going throughout the entire loop, so I'm gonna turn that off. And also, I typically use my thermate pedal. It's difficult to record and use the pedals at the same time, so I'm not trying to deal with all that right now. Alright, so I got this tape mellify, and I put it on the noisy tape preset, turn the noise all the way down, and I put inserts 1 through 4 and routed them to insert 8, which is where the tape mellify is at. I'm going to a new pattern. I'm gonna add some bass and maybe like a pad or two, and then that should be it. Maybe an accent sound, something like that. I just had one of the most insane lock-ins ever. I'm sorry for not talking through this, but I got a lot of cool things going on here. Basically what I did, I put a synth bass on this 4PF pattern, but I didn't want it to be that bass line the whole time, so I got this low piano, which just stays at the root note and then goes up at the end. Next I added this little accent key, something you'll barely notice, and then I got this layer pad right here. That's really all I did, just adding bass and then filling in some space right here.
So I use a sound shifter to put it from F minor to D minor, and now we have the full melody. very last melody that I'm doing for this video is Touchdown by Lil Baby.
Back on my young nigga shit, made a bunch of this shit. Watch me thumb through that shit, keep it blunt of this shit.
This one is up tempo, has a lot of energy, got a lot of strings and synths in there. Alright, I like this pattern so far. Let me get some synths going. SRX, so you gotta turn the attack down a bunch. This one sound is crazy. I'm gonna go get a bass now. I'm gonna pitch this down a couple, see how that sounds. Oh. So I got 7 sounds here. I think they all complement each other pretty well, but I don't have any ideas for a top line, so I'm gonna go into my Accent Essentials Volume 2 kit, and I'm gonna find something that fits. I think live instrument section is probably where I wanna go. So I ended up getting this violin phrase. And this guitar phrase. Now what I'll do is go into the violin phrase and I want to drown it out in reverb, so I'm going to use Valhalla Supermassive and go back to my favorite presets, the C beams, and see how that sounds. I want this note to extend, so I'm taking a different phrase and seeing if I can fit the notes to make it longer. Now I gotta put that on the same mixer track as well. Alright, so I pitched the whole sample up by 1 semitone, and that is the final loop.